Thanos will have that stone.
Comics, mate. Your mates in comics from the land down under. I'm Dean James, and I'm here with my good mate Crazy Mad. Say hello, mate.
Hello, mate. I actually
Hello,
hate
mate.
that theme
You're
saying.
terrible at that.
You said
What?
I had better than Wolverine.
Yeah, but that's not saying anything, honestly. That's straight up terrible. But yeah, anyway. Oh, hold on. Before we start, Chris, I said the wrong title to you the other day. It's Silver Surfer Requiem, not Ultimatum, was the awesome Silver Surfer book that I was talking about. But yeah, I noticed that when I was watching the replay. I was like, oh, shit. But anyway, tonight we've got something different, right? Like, as you all know, if you watch this channel even slightly regularly, you would know that I talk a lot of shit about comic books just in general. Like I'm a massive, I claim I'm a massive fan of comic books, but I seem to have nothing but negative things to say about them, right? So today we're going to be doing, yes, this is true. But today we're going to be doing something a bit different, like I'm going to actually go through some comic books that I genuinely like. Like these are in no particular order, but these are some of my actual favorite comic books. And, and I've got Crazy Mad to collect a list of his own as well, but we're not just going to go over the ones that everybody knows, like we're not going to talk about the Dark Knight Returns. I'm not going to bring up Batman Hush. Everybody knows that got me into comic books in the first place. We're not going to talk about Watchmen or any of that stuff. Like we're not going to talk about the ones that everybody knows are classics. We're going to talk about ones that hopefully you guys have either heard of and never read or just straight up never heard of at all in the first place. So we're going to, we've collected a list. I've got about 9 or 10 of them and Crazy Mad's got like 7 or something, don't you?
Yeah, something like that.
Your
list, I don't know. It took you your collection must be huge. It took you like 4 hours to get this list together.
My collection is huge, man. I have a whole shelf covering my wall of just books, and there's like no figures or anything on it. I had to move everything all out of the way. I've just got straight up a bookshelf behind me, and it's full. Like I need to get a new bookshelf just to buy any more comics. Yeah, see, I was going to bring up All-Star Superman as well, Oz, but we're not doing that. Because like that's arguably the best Superman comic ever made, All-Star Superman. So we're not going to be talking about that one either. I do have a Superman book up here. It's actually the first Superman book that I ever bought from issue 1 all the way through to the end of it. I can't remember what number it actually was, but I got part 1 of the story all the way through to the end of the story. And I did that when I was like 12 or something. So we've got that in there. We've got some Superman and stuff. But yeah, let's jump right into it, right? I'll go first because I have more than you. But first we'll say hello to everyone.
I also had a Superman book on my list too, and I had Batman Nightfall, but we're not allowed to talk about the super famous ones. So
Yeah, Nightfall's way too famous. Nightfall is way too famous. All right, like we can't bring up Nightfall. You can't. Let's just honorable mentions right now. Yeah, like get all of those ones out of the way, like Watchmen, The Dark Knight Returns, Spider-Man: Kraven's Last Hunt. We're not mentioning any of these ones because everybody already knows they're classics.
oh yeah, I loved Watchmen. Loved it.
Yeah, everybody loves Watchmen. Watchmen's one of my favorite. Even the movie, man. I love the Watchmen movie. I don't care what anyone says. It's great.
I
That is peak
I
cinema right there.
I actually like the ending to the movie better than I like the ending to the book.
Same. Honestly, I really do. I swear, I'm not even kidding. But this is going to be a super positive stream. We're going to be talking about all the shit we actually like for once instead of the things that we generally hate on, which is like the MCU and stuff. So let's not mention any of that. But first, let's say hello to everyone. G'day, Kiwi. You're already gone. Popped in to hit the like. Appreciate you, Kiwi. G'day, Oz. I like comics too, man. Just like Keanu Reeves. You're a man of culture. G'day, Ice Queen. Good to see you. G'day. She says with her British accent. G'day, Jeremy. How are you, mate?
Hey, Jams.
Glenn in Monsterland. What's up, man? And Chris. Yeah, I said hello to Chris as soon as I saw him because, yeah, I Requiem and not Ultimatum. Yeah, exactly. When I said Ultimatum, I don't know why I said Ultimatum, honestly, but I was watching the replay just earlier today while I was doing the dishes and stuff like that. And I'm like, what the hell even is that? Like, I don't even think that's a thing. It's Requiem. Requiem is the book. All right, it's great.
Hey, Shifty.
Yeah, All-Star Superman, Batman Nightfall, and No Man's Land, Hulk Maestro. Yeah, see, we're not mentioning any of those, but yes. Yeah, exactly. They're all great. Spawn, I am mentioning a Spawn, but it's not the main Spawn. All right, like I've actually got that on my list here because there's you know how they recently did like all the different ones and there was like King Spawn and Scorched and all that.
And Gunslinger.
Yeah, Gunslinger. Yeah. Those are the ones that like I'm actually bringing up some of those because I read one. There's one of them in particular that I really like genuinely loved. So yeah. Superman Panic in the Sky. Yeah, see classics. G'day, Shifty. Has anyone read Ninja Boy by Alan Warner and Alejandro Garza? No, never even heard of it.
I have never heard of that myself.
Either way, well, let's jump into it. Let's just jump straight into this shit. We'll actually talk about some comic books on Comics Mate for once, you know, because you know your mate's in comics from the land down under, and all I do is shit on Disney. So let's jump into this. Yeah. What should we start off with first? All right, I'll start off with this one first because it's the smallest image. Like I tried to get big images for when I share the screen and everything, but this one, for some reason, I couldn't find a full-sized image of this, yeah? But this is actually, in honor of Deadpool 3 coming out soon, this is one of my favorite Deadpool stories, and it's super obscure. Like, it's not even mainline Deadpool or anything, right? But I read this one every Halloween, all right? This is called Night of the Living Deadpool. All right, I don't know if any of you guys have seen this yet, but it's kind of like a play on The Walking Dead. The whole book is black and white except for Deadpool. He's in color. And when you get bitten, like you'll be in color as well, but when you get bitten, you start to turn black and white, and all the zombies and everything else are in black and white. And it's a super, like, it's a very funny, you know, like it's a classic Deadpool story, but it's also a very serious, like, zombie apocalypse, right? And it has some of the most, like, just truly horrifying zombies I've ever seen in anything. For real. Like, this is, because the zombies in this, right, your consciousness stays there in your brain and you can't do anything about it, right? So the zombies are like begging for death, and there's one of them that's crying. She's like, I ate my cat, why would I do that? And there's another one that's like, oh, can someone find my daughter, where are you? And shit like that. And it's like they all start begging for death when they see Deadpool like killing them. Like when they first see him, they're like, oh no, like not another one, I thought they all died. And as he kills one, they're like, no, wait, leave, like, get me too, me next. And it's truly shocking, some of the shit that the zombies say in this. And that's probably the main reason that I like it so much, is because the zombies are so unique. But it is genuinely good.
Yeah, are they regular zombies?
Yeah,
or are they like Captain America zombie?
No, they're, other than the talking, they are regular zombies. Like the people can't help themselves and they just, you know, bite you and eat you and stuff, and they get shot in the head, and then that's it. You know, but like they talk. Like it's like your brain is still alive inside there, and you're just like, why is this happening to me? I don't deserve this. Stuff like that. It's really, really genuinely a great read. And as I said, I don't know what year this came out, but I have read this every single Halloween since the first time I saw it. Like, I genuinely love this book. Have you ever read this book, Crazy Matt?
No, I've never even heard of this book. It's
Well,
one
you
I'll
should
probably
read it.
have
It's
to
only
check out now.
you can buy the whole because it's only 4 issues long, right? So you can buy the whole collected edition on Amazon or eBay or anywhere for about $10-15. Like I've got the trade paperback just on my shelf, and that's what I read every year. It's legit. It's not even expensive, and it's super good. Like it really is worth the read.
Oz Great Sage
Oz
says
says most Deadpool comics are cringe to me. Well, no, there's very little fourth wall breaking in this, Oz. Like Deadpool talks to himself a bit, but not really so much to us. It actually, this is much, it is a good Deadpool. If you're going to give any Deadpool a chance, this is actually a pretty good one to give a go, honestly.
Hey, Aetherline.
I'm off to buy Monstrous. I'll watch the replay. Okay, bye, Ice Queen. And I thought Private Jenkins being conscious while infected by the flood was a unique comic take. Yeah. It's actually very similar to that. Like, they are still alive in there until they're not. You know, like if you've been a zombie for, a year straight at this point, they all start to stop talking after a while. But during this whole book, because there is a sequel to this as well, Return of the Living Deadpool, which is still fun, but not as good as this first one. Right? And spoiler, Deadpool is kind of the cure. Like when he starts getting eaten by zombies, the zombies stop being zombies. It's a whole thing. Like he is the main plot point. Like he's the driving force of this whole plot. But yeah, that's my first.
Who do we got writing and art on this?
Well, you can see it there. It says Colin Bunn and Ramon Rosakis. I don't know how to say this guy's name. I'm sorry, but it's pretty good. Like it's very reminiscent of like the Walking Dead style artwork.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Not bad at all. But yeah, this is because as I said, no particular order. Like I don't know if this is my 10th favorite or my first favorite. Like these are just in the order that I have them open in the tab. All right. So what's yours? Deadpool? No, not really. Not really, Oz, honestly. Not really. Do I like Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe? I've tried to give it a go. I'm just not that into it.
First, we got
what's
here
your first one?
XMen 2099.
Solo layout. XMen 2099, huh?
It's one of the 90s. It starts out this 2099 Reckoning, which I mean all the titles from 2099 faded except for Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah. I was gonna say, is this like, does he show up in this at all or what? Because he's the only character from 2099 that matters.
They all cross over eventually. X-Men, they had a Hulk 2099. They had Spider-Man 2099. I can't remember some of the other. I think they had a Doom 2099 too, but I don't remember. I can't remember. This particular. This is a number one, so it's just basically the creation of the group at some point, right? Like,
right.
Yeah, there's like any number one. It's just a setup to like the rest of the story.
But who are these X-Men though? Because I don't think I'm familiar with any of the X-Men 2099.
This is Bloodhawk, and I don't fucking remember the names of the other ones.
Wow, I say yay too. I was like, I'm a big fan of Age of Apocalypse.
And then, like, the writer is John Francis Moore, who I've actually never heard of. The artists on it, the pencilers were from Ron Lim, and the inks from Adam Kubert.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's a decent little story. It's just I had a number one, and I thought it was an interesting book.
Right. Well, no, it looks pretty cool. Like, these look like classic comic book characters, but I legit don't know anything about them, so I can't really say anything.
I think Big Dude here.
Yeah.
He turns his body to diamond or some shit.
Right.
This guy has like some kind of electro blast or whatever from his hands. This dude here is a speedster. And then,
cool.
Yeah, one of them is like a Professor X type character. One of them's a mind reader.
Right, okay.
Oh, this chick makes like crystal stuff come from her hands and stuff, like a staff and shit. But it never really took off.
Your screen is frozen.
Is it?
Yeah, I can't see you moving anymore. I don't know which one the crystal chick is.
She's the black girl.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, that looks pretty cool, man. Like I've legit never looked at. I've said before that I'm a massive fan of the X-Men, right? But that's literally the '90s X-Men, all the Claremont and Jim Lee stuff. That's the stuff that I just devoured as a kid. I don't really know anything about like X-Men 2099. I know about Spider-Man 2099.
Not too many people do know about it. It never took off. Like the only 2099 title that ever took off was Spider-Man.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, yeah, good suggestion. Hold on, let me take you off full screen now. Exit solo layout. There we go, mate. Welcome back. All right. Next up, I actually have something that is brand new. It might actually only be on the list right now because it is so fresh in my mind. Like I literally just finished reading it yesterday, / this morning. All right. Well, I couldn't see him move anymore. I'm glad that you could see him move, 50. That's good at least. Maybe it's just my end. All right.
Yeah.
But anyway, the next one I've got up. Yeah, here we go. The next one I've got up, it may only be in here because it's fresh in my mind, but the artwork alone and everything just really does, make it a worthy spot on this list here. And it's one that you're all familiar with too. It's NOS Furo by Shanthan Jetty, which I recently received in the mail. I'm pretty sure you can still buy it off him if you have access to him on the internet in some way. I'm honestly not sure if he closed it or not. I think he might have closed the campaign, but I'm sure he has extras and stuff like that. Yeah. NOS Furo, a fantastic book. He's like a weird, like a dark, what's it called? He's a dark hero who's out slaying vampires and things like that. The main villain, like this chick at the very, on the cover there, she's a 17-year-old virgin who's going to be sacrificed so that they can open a gateway to a dark dimension and stuff. And he saves her at the very start of the book, right? And it's very, it's got these macabre sort of feels, like this really dark, twisted story. It's very, what's the word? Cthulhu-esque, it's very much a
Lovecraftian.
That's it. It's a very much a Lovecraftian story, and it's fantastic. Honestly, I chucked on some dark ambience, atmosphere, background stuff on YouTube, and I just read it for 3 hours or whatever, however long it took me to get through the whole book. But it's awesome, and the artwork in it is superb, truly superb. It's all painted, what you can see on the cover there. That's his paintings, and that's what every page in the book looked like as well. It's chef's kiss. Beautiful stuff.
I just got this in the mail. I haven't read it. I went through his art books that I got with the campaign, though.
Right.
They're beautiful, beautiful work.
Nice. Yeah, Oz says he hasn't got his copy yet. Well, I only got mine yesterday or the day before, so it's probably on its way to you right now, Oz. You will get it soon.
Or you won't.
Or you won't. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, definitely check these books out. Every book on this list is worth a read, even if it's just once. But yeah, what's your next one, Oz? I mean, Crazy Mad. I'm sorry, I was looking at the chat.
God.
I'm looking at the chat, man. I'm fucking tired.
I know. I tried to get you to do this a while ago.
Yeah, well, I wanted to go to bed.
So I got a 2-for-1 here. I got Death of Superman and Return of Superman, also known as Reign of Superman.
Oh yeah, so when I said that we weren't going to do super famous classic books, this is your super famous classic book.
Yeah, I've
got this as well.
At the time, this was a huge deal, the Death of Superman.
Oh hell yeah, it was, man. It was on the news and everything.
Yeah, this was all over every news channel. They're killing Superman. Oh my god. I believe I was in 7th grade. This was forever.
Did they not kill superheroes on a regular basis before this happened?
I mean, they have, but it was never like Superman level characters.
Death of Superman is one of the most famous books ever made. Yeah, I've actually I've got 2 copies of this. The actual Death of Superman in the black bag with the red S and everything still, and one of them is actually signed by the writer. So, gotta say, I'm a massive fan. This is actually one of the first books that I ever read. Like my dad bought it at like some swap meet market thing when I was a little kid, and I read it so much that the cover came off.
This is written by Dan Jurgens, artist Brett Breeding.
Nice.
Both of these books. Sorry,
yeah, well,
I was great.
I mean, these are classics. Like, I don't really think you need to explain what this stuff is. You know, like this is a lot of people's first. Like, it's my first comic book I ever really owned. But it's, as you said, it was on the news. It's super famous. You're up to the 2nd book in your list, and you've already broken the rule. So I apologize to everyone in the chat here. Ignore Crazy Matt. But yeah, Death of Superman is fantastic, especially towards the end of it when it's just like splash page after splash page of Doomsday just absolutely mauling Superman.
Yes, it's great. And he mauls like a whole bunch of other like original Blue Beetle and shit, I forget.
Oh yeah, he takes out the whole Justice League, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like pretty much, yeah.
Like minor Justice League, not like the major ones.
G'day, Ray. Yeah, Justice Society. Hey, yeah, because Wonder Woman and that are there with Lois Lane when he dies. I remember that. Yeah, Super Mullet. Hell yeah, that's the best Superman. I had a Superman game when I was a little kid on Super Nintendo, I think it was. And he had the Super Mullet, and it was great. But yeah, what should I put up next? All right, we'll stick with Superman, right? I'll actually mention the Superman book that I was going to do. Right, because where is it? There it is. Yeah. You know, like as I said, this is what I was talking about a minute ago when I said it's actually the first book that I ever bought from part 1 all the way through to the end of it, because, you know, in Australia, comic books are harder to get, and the news agency where I would buy this stuff didn't always get comic books. You know, like they'd get like 3 issues and then they just wouldn't get any more for another 6 months. And it's like, well, why, guys? How am I supposed to get into comics like this? But this here, they actually did, just by pure luck. They had, you know, part 1 all the way through. And this is Superman Godfall. Do you have any idea what Superman Godfall is? Have you seen this before?
No, I have not seen this.
This is, like, as I said, it's the first Superman book that I ever read all the way through from part 1 through to the end, right? And it is actually still one of my favorite Superman books I've ever read. Yeah, the artist on all the covers was Michael Turner, right? Which is, you know, obviously everybody knows who Michael Turner is, right? Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah, he would have been like the GOAT if it wasn't for, you know, his early R.I.P. Michael Turner.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Michael Turner, you absolute legend. Yeah, anyway. Superman Godfall, right? You had Michael Turner actually did half the writing on this as well, which I forgot to mention. Yeah, it was written by Michael Turner and Joe Kelly, which you can see down the bottom there. Right? With pencils by Talent Caldwell. I don't actually know who this guy is, but you know, like if you see his artwork around, it's actually really nice. But this is the only book that I've ever owned that has this guy's name on it, so I don't know who he is or what happened to him yet. But the idea is, it starts off with Superman on Krypton, and he's not actually Superman, and he's riding a motorbike through the freeway, like fighting off some like thugs that are chasing him. Yeah, and like he has no idea about Earth and Lois or anything like that, and he keeps having nightmares and stuff like that, and you know, he starts having nightmares about Earth. And then he's like, you know, something's not right, blah, blah. And his wife is there. And like, he has a wife on Krypton and everything. And like, it turns out his wife is some goddess thing. And there's this like police, like these police officers that are like super cops. And one of them becomes the main villain of this story. Like, it's a whole thing. Yeah. Definitely highly recommend this book. It is one of the reasons, like, you know, I've said before that Hush is the Batman book that really got me into comics in the first place, right? Well, this is the Superman book that really solidified the fact it's like, yeah, I read comics now. Like, this is great. And to this day, still one of my favorite Superman books.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, definitely give it a go, man. I don't even think it's very expensive either. Like, you could probably buy this, like this cover here. I've specifically picked the covers of the trade paperbacks. So if you guys want to go looking for them, look for this image and you'll get the whole story, right? And it's It's awesome.
You and Jeremy are like simpatico right now, dude.
Yeah, hell yeah, love Godfall. Damn right.
He loves your choices.
Yeah, well, I have good choices, man. You should honestly, like, I'm not just saying that for the show or anything. Like, everything I'm recommending tonight, everybody should read because they are fantastic. There's not a single bad one here. And these are ones that I go back to. You know, like I've read, there's some, but most of the comic books I've ever bought, I've enjoyed, right? Like, I've never really read something and gone, fuck, this is crap, and thrown it away. I've kept every comic book I've ever owned. But this one here is one of the books that I go back to. It's like, every so often I'll be like, I feel like reading Superman. Let me pull out Godfall. And that's literally, it's a great Superman book. And the art is fantastic.
Well, wait till I send you Starblades. Then you're going to like have a book that's like,
no, I don't want Starblades. I don't want Starblades. Hail Ray, I don't know if I said hello to you when you first showed up. And yeah, Cyborg Soup with the American flag was badass. That was badass. And that was wasn't that the first appearance of Steel as well? Like when Superman was dead?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it was. I think that was the first time that Steel showed up.
I feel like Steel was around before, and then it was like a reimagining of it.
Well, it was the first appearance of Superboy anyway, the weird Superboy with the leather jacket and stuff, which was always kind of cool.
Hey, Dave Brink.
G'day, Dave. Welcome. Yeah, Superman Earth 1 is really good too. Steel is awesome. Turner's art on DC Universe always felt a bit weird to me. You are wrong. Have you ever read Superman, Batman, Supergirl? It was fully drawn by Michael Turner. They made an animated movie about it and everything. It is one of the best Superman, Batman books just in existence. There's nothing better than that, honestly. That is outrageous, Dave. I can't believe you just said that. Anyway, let me close this. All right.
All right. So what's
your next recommendation?
I'm going with one of my favorite artists on one of my favorite books of all time. Somewhat, he's the guy that gave Michael Turner his fucking start.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, because I don't actually know what his whole list is yet, so I haven't seen Crazy Man's whole list.
We got The Darkness. The Darkness. 1.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've got that on my shelf too. The Darkness is fantastic.
Oh yeah, written by Mark Silvestri. Also,
move it back a bit so we can see the whole cover.
I'm wrong. It was written by Garth Ennis. Artist.
Wow.
The artist was Mark Silvestri, and it had Bat Banning on colors.
Tilt it towards you a little bit, so we get that reflection off the bag. Yeah, there we go. Now we can see it. Oh, nice. That's a cool close-up. That's drawn by Mark Silvestri, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's fantastic.
This is one of like 100 different variants. I believe you were talking about.
Yeah, like that doesn't look like the copy I have.
Yeah. Basically, this is the story of Hitman Jackie S. I'm just gonna call him Jackie. Can't remember his last name.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'll call him Jackie.
And he gets the superpower of the darkness, which is he basically can summon a bunch of fucking demon goblins, and they go and
shadow monsters,
everything. Yeah. And he has some different stuff, like if he has sex, he will spread his seed, which creates the next darkness, and he dies instantly. And he's kind of a playboy. Yeah, he's kind of a playboy, so this is like one thing that he has to deal with, like a crippling weakness.
Yeah, see, I actually agree with Dave on this one. This was always been my major criticism of the Darkness, is that he was just like a mafia, like a hitman for the mafia. It's like we're rooting for the bad guy in this. Like, he's a bad guy. Sure, they're bad guys, but he's also a bad guy.
Yes. And
some people like, but I never really did.
He crosses over a lot with Witchblade and Angelus, who most people haven't heard of Angelus, but everyone's heard of fucking Witchblade.
Right, yeah, of course. Witchblade is famous.
Yes.
For very good reasons.
Also Michael Turner art there, Witchblade.
Yeah, Michael Turner on Witchblade and Silvestri on the Darkness. You can't go wrong, honestly.
Yes, yeah, it's beautiful.
What else have I got? What should I go into next? All right, hold on. Yeah, here we go. You already broke the rule about super famous comic books, so this is probably the most well-known book that I have on my list, right? But I bring it up for a good reason, okay? For real. This is Old Man Logan. Everybody remembers the movie Logan that is quote-unquote based on Old Man Logan, and it's just not in any way. Old Man Logan is fantastic. It is so much different than the movie Logan. So if you like Wolverine from the movies, you should definitely check this out because it has nothing in common with the Logan movie at all. Yeah, you got Old Man Logan. That's actually the blind guy there, the old man with the long hair and the beard and everything.
Hawkeye.
That's Hawkeye. Yeah. And then you got like the Hulk's sons and grandsons and stuff are all the bad guys because Bruce Banner became like a lunatic.
Maestro.
And basically, no, this isn't like he's not Maestro in this. He's just Bruce. Like he's just Banner. He's the Hulk.
Oh.
You know, but yeah, he's not Maestro in this at all. But yeah, you got the inbred Hulk family, yeah. Because they go into this point where the Hulk explains, you know, that he had to have children with She-Hulk because she was the only one who was strong enough to bear his seed. You know, his baby Hulks would actually punch their way out of a regular woman's stomach. And so, yeah. But this movie here, it takes place like 30 years or something after all of the villains actually won, and they did something. You don't know exactly what they did straight away, but they did something that caused all of the heroes to lose. Like they all teamed up together and they won, and they took over the world. And so Logan hasn't taken his claws out since. You know, like he's become a pacifist and he wants to be all peaceful and stuff like that ever since that day. And, you know, don't worry, the book ends with him popping his claws for the first time in 30 years and he goes nuts. But that's neither here nor there. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, right? But this starts off with Logan living on a farm with his wife and his new kids. And he's just like no one even knows what a superhero is anymore. And he gets mad at his daughter when his daughter hears from the neighbor lady that Logan used to be a guy named Wolverine, you know? She's like, she asks him about it and he gets all mad and like leaves. But the idea is that like when he's on his farm like that, you find out that the Banners run this entire area and they come to get their rent from him that he owes them money and they didn't have enough money to give them. So he takes a job with Hawkeye to earn a bit of extra cash and he has to drive this car across the country. And so you get this nice road trip throughout all of this new America that has been taken over by Dr. Doom and the Kingpin and everybody else. Like Red Skull is the president and things like that. It's actually really, really good. It's super dark too. Like don't go in expecting a bright, colorful superhero movie. Like this is a dark story written by Mark Miller and Steve McMillan. Steve McNiven gives a great performance with his artwork. Like there's a lot of moments in there where you look at it and you can actually see what the characters are feeling just by the looks on their faces. They don't even need the words, you know? But yeah, fantastic stuff and truly gruesome stuff as well. Like when he goes up against Banner, like I'm trying not to spoil the actual story, you know, but he goes up against the Hulk at one point and the Hulk just straight up eats him because Bruce Banner has gotten so big over the years, you know, he gets so powerful. He's a big fat Hulk rather than being a big muscly Hulk. And he straight up eats Wolverine. It's wild, you know, and they drive as you can see at the bottom there, that's actually the spider car. Remember the Spider-Mobile? Peter Parker, when he had that car that he drove across the walls and stuff like that, that's what they drive across the country in. Because Hawkeye won it in a card game or something years ago. But yeah. And there's this other cool bit where Emma Frost shows up and she's all young and beautiful still. And you're like, what the fuck? This doesn't make any sense. And she goes, "Oh, I'm the most powerful telepath in the world. You know, you see what I want you to see." It's like, oh, so she is a gross old lady, but you know, she doesn't appear that way to everybody.
Yeah. Melisandre vibes there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, clever way they made Hawkeye blind. It is. Yeah, Hawkeye's not useless either. Like, even though he's blind, he still does a bunch of cool shit. Did you like the Ultimates? Yes and no. Depends on what part of it we're talking about, you know? Like, there's certain versions of characters that I like. I prefer the 616 version, and other versions I prefer the Ultimate version. So it really depends on which part we're talking about. But yeah, Old Man Logan, if you're a fan of Wolverine at all, even like a normie who likes Wolverine in the movies, would love this book because this book is awesome. Straight up awesome.
Yeah, I concur. This is a really good book.
Can I zoom in on that? Yeah, I can. Yeah, and like, look, see, there's like Bruce Banner's gross inbred like hillbilly children and shit, and there's Logan's family over there at the back. But yeah, I don't want to, because I'm trying not to spoil anything at all. Yeah, but this is a great story, So what's next on yours, crazy man? What's next on your list, mate?
Next up, we have Wildcats #1, full of.
Oh, look at you!
Yeah.
I've chosen a bunch of like more modern day stories. Like a lot of the oldest one of mine is probably 2000 or something like that. You know.
Well, you're 12 years old, so like
I am
my
12
stuff's
years
going
old.
to
Yeah,
be
this is
older.
true.
I have Wildcats #1. This is full of beautiful Jim Lee work. This is when he left and went over to Image and started his what he started. He started Malibu after that, didn't he?
I don't know. Jim Lee was always a better comic artist than he was director or anything. You know, like he is terrible at as CEO of DC. Straight up.
Oh yeah.
G'day, Spectacular Umbreon. Welcome. We're having a positive stream tonight. We're talking about all our favorite comic books.
This is fun. This is full of action. It gets kind of dark in spots, but it's Jim Lee's take on, I believe it's XMen. He pretty much comes up with his own XMen take. This is a good start, and I believe I cannot remember who actually. The writing on this is not as good, but it does get better in later issues. A more prominent writer comes on who I cannot remember who it is, but on this particular issue,
I don't know, man. I've never read Wildcats, believe it or not.
It's Jim Lee and Brandon Choi writing this, and then Jim Lee does pencils, and Scott Williams inks over it.
Nice. Yeah, the classic team, Jim Lee and Scott Williams, right there.
Yeah, this is a good read. Like, it does get better. I believe issues 20 through 30 ends up. I cannot remember the writer that is on it, and it's driving me nuts right now. And that's when Wildcats really makes its hay, though, is those issues. But this, I just have a #1, so it's like, let's show.
Well, I've literally never read Wildcats. The only character I can even name from there, and I'm forgetting his name right now, is the dude with the red bandana over his face and all the guns, because I've seen him in other stuff since, you know?
Grifter,
that's it. Yeah, that's the one. But yeah, I've literally never read any Wildcats, despite the fact that I'm a massive Jim Lee fan. So I don't know, like, but I'll take your word for it, man. If you say it's good, I'll give it a go.
Give it a read. Give it a read through.
I will give it a read through. What did you think of the Ultimates, though? I answered a second ago. What did you think of the Ultimates, Crazy Mad?
I've never read the Ultimates.
Really?
I'm showing you, like,
it's what most of the MCU characters' designs and stuff were based off of.
Yeah, I read comics in the 90s, and then I fell out of it for a good 15 years, and then I didn't get back into it until I jumped into this space.
Yeah. Dave is saying what you said a second ago. Once the actual writers came on board, the story got a lot more interesting.
Yes.
But yeah, that was a problem with a lot of Image stuff. It was like most of Image stuff was just cool artwork, which, you know, from my perspective, wasn't a bad thing at all, because I'm an artist and I didn't really care about the stories as a kid. I just wanted the cool drawings. But it is true that, like, you know, a lot of the stories were just mediocre at best.
But there was Wildcats ended up becoming, a video game and a TV series, a cartoon.
Well, Wildcats are back at DC right now. That's where I've seen Grifter, is in like Justice League books and stuff. Yeah. Like they're just part of the DC universe now.
I cannot remember the writer, but he's a really prominent writer and he's still pretty famous to this day, and I cannot fucking remember who it is.
Yeah, Youngblood was cool too. I actually remember Youngblood from the Image comics. Did anyone see the Youngblood movie?
Wasn't Youngblood Liefeld though?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I was too young to remember, man. Like, this is the 90s when I was a little kid, so I'm not sure. Disney should have bought Spectacular Spider-Man. When they canceled Spectacular Spider-Man and started with that Marvel Spider-Man crap, it was just god-awful. Spectacular Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man cartoon to ever exist. Full stop. Yeah, Wildcat's got a SNES game and everything. Yeah, hell yeah. DC is where Image characters go to die. And yeah, Youngblood movie was crap.
Yeah, the DC. A lot of people are saying don't read Wildcats, the DC stuff, because it's. I haven't read them, but it's supposedly not very fucking good.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's very good either.
Stick
All right,
with
next
the old
up on the
90s
list.
stuff.
Yeah, if you're gonna read Wildcats, you're better off starting in the 90s stuff anyway. If you're gonna read any of the Image characters, you're best off starting like at the start because they've only been around for a couple of decades. So you really can't like Spawn is like one of the longest running ones, and there's 350 issues. You can get through that in a few months at the most. You know, like read every single issue. It doesn't even matter. But yeah. Anyway, next up on the list is another book that you're all familiar with, I'm sure. But this is the Lucent. So this is for all my subscribers that aren't from Twitter and stuff like that. Like, welcome all my new subscribers, by the way. I'm at 949 last time I looked. So we're doing awesome. But yeah, this is the Lucent, right? And this is written by Michael Bancroft and drawn by Michael Bancroft, who was actually a friend of the channel. And he always like, I mean, we might as well talk about this because he loves when other people talk about his books, you know. But yeah, this is a weird epic fantasy style book. It's this is part 1, you know, so the whole story isn't over yet. But this is where they go into like a dreamscape sort of thing, and it's kind of like Inception, where they have powers in their dreams. And Ella, who is the main character that you see on the cover there, she seems to be the chosen one. You know, she's like Neo from the Matrix or something like that. They haven't really gone too far into it yet. There's still more questions than there are answers. But yeah, Spider-Man the animated series is the best. Shocker! You can't escape me! I'll chase you to the ends of the earth! I mean, Spider-Man the animated series is fantastic, Oz. Don't get me wrong. But Spectacular Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man cartoon. There's no, like, it's not even close, man. Especially with them aging these days, you know? Like, Spider-Man the animated series has not aged nearly as well as Spectacular Spider-Man has. G'day, Manticore. Welcome. Good to see you, man.
Spider-Man the animated series has aged pretty well. It's
aged okay. But it's not as good as Spectacular Spider-Man. Spectacular Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man cartoon. I'm not even budging on that a little. All right, like it is the best Spider-Man cartoon.
Do not agree.
I don't care if you agree or not. You're wrong. You're allowed to be wrong.
I am with Oz Great Sage on this over and over.
Well, you're wrong. You're allowed to be wrong, and that's okay. You can be wrong all you like. Yeah. Do I like Shonen Jump? I like Dragon Ball Z. I like Dragon Ball. There's a lot of Shonen Jump that I don't care about, but there is some that I actually do really like. I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball. Everybody knows that. We're lucky Mo's not here right now. He'd be pissed if I said that in front of him.
Shonen Jump.
Yeah. The super buff character design of Spider-Man in the 90s is a bit weird. Like, he's too jacked to be Spider-Man. He's got to be more gangly, like Spectacular Spider-Man. Blah, 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 says Jim. Welcome, Jim. Good to see you, man. But yeah, this is the Lucent. This is I've read this, like I've already bought the second issue, which is coming out soon, and I will be buying every single issue until the end because it's going to be like 6 parts or something. I can't remember exactly how many, but you know, he's got it all planned out. It's going to have an end, and it's like an epic fantasy. It would honestly make a great movie or a Netflix series or something like that. It is super cool. Super cool. Highly recommend this book, and you can buy the book 1 because, as I said, part 2 is coming out soon. You can buy part 1 with part 2 if you haven't got part 1 yet. You can actually jump in.
Yeah, part 2 is available on Michael Bancroft's website. I believe that he's doing an Indiegogo too, but I don't know for sure.
Well, I just bought it off his website, so like I trust Bancroft. I'll buy things directly from him. He's not going to go anywhere with our money, you know. My Mexican dad is a Dragon Ball fan. You know what? Mexicans love Dragon Ball. There's an entire line of like Dragon Ball themed taco places and stuff like that. For real. Mexicans love Dragon Ball. So that is not unusual at all. Goes Super Saiyan. Yeah, all right.
I wish
G'day, Courtney. Welcome.
I wish I could time you out in place of fucking Mo.
A good new anime is Ninja Kabui. I don't think I've seen that, Oz. I'll check it out. I'll give it a go. Because the newest anime I've watched is Demon Slayer, and Demon Slayer is fucking sick. Not gonna lie. It deserves like what?
The first season of Demon Slayer is pretty good, but the rest of it is.
Did you hear about how Demon Slayer outsold the entire Western comic book industry on its own?
Yeah, it is what it is.
It did it rightfully so, man. Rightfully so, honestly. It is really cool. It is really cool. But seeing as we're speaking about manga and anime and stuff like that, I've actually got a manga to recommend, which is weird because I never do that.
Ugh.
Yeah, like I don't read manga, but this is the only manga I actually own. Oh yeah, One Punch Man is a great show too, Oz. But did One Punch Man come out before or after Demon Slayer? I don't know. But I watched them both. But they're good. But this here is a horror book, right? Usumaki. It is a horror book. Look, listen to how weird this sounds, man. Honestly, if this wasn't good, I wouldn't be recommending it, yeah? But listen to the description of this shit. It is a town that is haunted by a spiral. It's like a cursed by spirals. You know, like the swirly mark. Like that's the spiral. Like you can see that chick's hair is doing spirals. Yeah, and it has some of the most creative and unique, creepy, weird, scary ways to incorporate spirals into things. And like a lot of people die in it and everything. This is actually a really cool book, and it freaked me out for ages. Like when I first read it, it's a massive book. It's like 300 pages or something, right? But like I read it in a few days. That's how good it was. And when you actually like read the whole thing, you get to the end of it and you start noticing spirals in real life because it gets into your head, man. Gets into your head. It's really good. For real. It is really good. It is nightmare fuel, Courtney, for real.
You raved about this book. I will recommend
this to everyone.
For everyone.
What?
Forever. I said you recommended this book forever to me. And I know you're
I still recommend it to everyone.
You're a huge Junji Ito fan.
Well, yeah, this is what made me a huge Junji Ito fan, because he is a Japanese horror creator. That's what he does, is nothing but horror books. But I've read a bunch of his other stuff. He has some really cool short stories, yeah? But Uzumaki, which means spiral, is the worst thing I have ever read. It is so just creepy. And as I said, it gets into your head. Like, you'll be thinking about it for days after you finish it. You're like, what the fuck? And like, right now, I can see spirals everywhere because of it. You know, like my rug has a spiral mark on it. I've got this skull thing that's on the wall of my house, and that's got a fucking spiral on it. I've got the color wheel, which is almost a spiral. It is a damn good book. Damn good book. Definitely highly recommend. It's like, you know, Japanese people, they're weird, man. I can't describe it properly, but it's a town cursed by spirals. That's the best way to describe it. And it is awesome. Highly recommend.
Didn't he have a cartoon series come out on Netflix too?
Yeah, but that's all based on his short stories. You won't get Uzumaki in there. But that is also really good. There's two animated series based on his work, and they're both good. Yeah. Mostly good. There's a couple of weird ones, but they're mostly good. Check them out on Netflix. If you've got Netflix, look up Junji Ito. You'll like it. All right. So what's yours? Have you got any more? Because I've still got a few more.
Yeah, I got a few more in here. I got 4 more. We're going back with Jim Lee again.
Really? You're a big Jim Lee fan, aren't you?
Not really. I mean, yeah. I mean, who isn't when he's an artist?
Yeah, if you like comic books, you like Jim Lee, yeah.
We got XMen number
1. Like and subscribe for Jim Lee.
1991. It's the reimagining, and this is actually a cool book because it's one of the first to. There's actually 4 covers for this book, and when you place them all side by side, they make one image. It's one of the first books to do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like this is the first book of the covers. The other one is one of them has Cyclops and Wolverine on it. One of them has like Colossus and Rogue on it, and then the 4th one has Magneto, and it's all them battling Magneto. And this starts with
I actually know what that image is. I recognize that image. I know exactly which one you're talking about. And Shifty says there's 5 covers. And he also says, lol, the highest selling comic of all time. You are terrible at this, Crazy Matt. I specifically said pick books that nobody knows about.
Yeah, this is probably the highest selling comic of all time. Shifty's not wrong for once.
But yeah, I mean, I think we're all familiar with Jim Lee's X-Men run, right? Everybody knows about this stuff. This is fantastic.
Yeah, this is Claremont writing, classic.
Yeah.
Fucking
yeah.
The top writer of all time in comic books, bar none.
Yeah, they've never been able to repeat how good the 90s X-Men were. This is the stuff that got me into comic books as a kid. I read X-Men more than anything else growing up. And it was specifically Claremont and Jim Lee.
Yeah, me too. I just wanted to show it off because I have number ones of stuff.
Shifty says the 5th cover contains all of the images. Oh, yeah, cool.
Oh, thanks, Shifty.
Yeah, good job, man. Good job. Crazy doesn't care about my rules. Yeah, he breaks the rules. That's exactly what he does.
But this starts out with Magneto on Asteroid M, and yeah, it's a classic. It's a classic X-Men versus Magneto story.
Yeah, nice.
Highly suggest.
Show off, she says. Yeah, Disney Plus is collapsing. If you've been watching my actual videos lately, my next video coming out as soon as I'm done editing it all together is about how Disney Plus is falling apart. They've lost millions of subscribers. Since the start of 2023, they've lost maybe 5 million. But in the last month alone, they've lost 1.3 million subscribers. They are falling apart, and they are nowhere near breaking even on the amount of money they've spent on Disney Plus. So don't even get me started on Disney Plus. I swear, this is supposed to be a positive stream.
Hey, you know why they removed Spectacular Spider-Man? Because it's not as good as Spider-Man the Animated Series.
No, it's because people preferred it over Marvel's Spider-Man or Ultimate Spider-Man. That's why. Yeah. But anyway, let's move on to my next one. Hold on. How many have you got left? Because I got a few left.
I've got 3 left.
All right, cool. I'll do 2 more in a row. All right. I'll do the next 2 in a row. And then that should balance it out. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Somebody time out Shifty. Nah, don't do that. You're all right. Disney Plus collapsing totally fits a positive stream. You're right, Dave. It is a good thing. It is definitely a good thing. And it's bad when people complain about Netflix being all woke and all crazy and shit, but they don't unsubscribe from Netflix because Netflix still has a bunch of stuff that you can watch. Disney Plus doesn't have any of that. Disney Plus is just you subscribe for a month so you can watch The Mandalorian, and then you unsubscribe when the new season's gone. But anyway, let's move on, right? My next one is one that I recently read. This is only like a few weeks ago at the most that I read this, yeah? And this is Gunslinger Spawn. Have you seen Gunslinger Spawn? It's one of the new spawns that they introduced when they did the whole thing with King Spawn and everything, right? And he's a Spanish dude from the Wild West. He's actually from back in the day, and he got sent through time into the future. Right? I've got it all written here. Yeah, because King Spawn did something, and it opened up a portal and sucked a bunch of them through, including the Violator from the past. So you got clowns back alive and everything in this. It's actually really good. But hold on, let me just pull it up because I wrote it down earlier. Right, specifically the first 24 issues. So the first 2 years of this book are fucking awesome. They were written by McFarlane and drawn by Brett Booth. Yeah, but hold on, I can't remember his name. Harvey. It's Javier. His name is Harvey, right? And he is sick, right? It's like Javi, like Harvey, right? And he is sick. He is my favorite Spawn. This was actually my favorite Spawn book in ages. Like since Greg Capullo left Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn has been my favorite in years. Yeah, and he is awesome. Like he can't read or anything, because he's from the olden days, and he's got all these guns and everything. He's actually the weakest Hellspawn of the lot of them. They keep, at least that's what they keep saying. They keep telling him that. But the whole thing, the first 24 issues, so the first 2 volumes, drawn by, maybe 3 volumes. It was like 2.5 volumes, 24 issues, right? But it was, the first 24 issues were drawn by Brett Booth, who was one of my all-time favorite artists, and it was written by Todd McFarlane for the most part. And look at the design. You know, he's a fantastic looking character. He's cool as fuck looking, and he is the new Spawn. You know, he's one of the new Spawns, and he is awesome. Highly recommend this book. And yeah, all the Spawns look really cool. Like, that is true. And in this, you actually get to see She Spawn and Al Simmons King Spawn shows up for a bit as well. But like Gunslinger Spawn, the main attraction of this book is this guy Harvey, who is he's come from the past, and he's trying to get home. Basically, all he wants to do is get home, but he doesn't want to go back to his own time. He wants to go back to a few years before he died, because there's someone that he loves. I won't spoil it. It's not his wife or anything, but like someone in his family has been murdered, and he wants to go back in time to before she died so that he can, save her and stop it from happening and stuff like that. So he makes a deal with Clown. The Clown's now separated from the Violator even. So you got this big monster Violator, and you've got Clown there with all these human intelligence and stuff, but the Violator's just a big snarling monster. It's really weird, but great book. Highly recommend it. And specifically the first 24 issues, which is all Brett Booth drawn. It's amazing. It's him bringing out all the stops too. Like, everybody knows who Brett Booth is, right? He's great.
Yeah, he's a great artist. I really hate the hat though.
No, you'll grow to love it, man. You'll grow to love it. I swear, I love it. The whole thing is fantastic. There's nothing bad about this design at all. And you can't see it in this picture, but at the top there, it's actually got like skulls running around the edge of his hat, like around the rim of his hat. But yeah, great stuff. Really great stuff. All right, and my next one is... Oh, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, we'll do this one. This is actually what I'm reading right now. Here we go. I've already read this volume. This is volume 1, right? This is called Monstrous, right? Have you ever heard of this? I'm pretty sure most people haven't heard of this, because I've never heard anyone talk about this at all.
Never heard of this.
All right, well, the gist is, it's kind of like it's kind of hard to describe, because it's like a dark fantasy story with a lot of backstory and stuff like that, right? But there's humans, there's monster kind of people, and there's like cat people as well, right? And they were all made by these ancient gods a long time ago. And like 1,000 years ago, there was a big war between all of the races, and the humans won essentially. And so now the monster people are like, some of the monster people just look like people, but they have powers and stuff like that, But they're all essentially slaves. And this main chick has one arm and some ancient demon thing living inside her that like comes out of her arm, and it's all tentacles and shit, tentacles and eyeballs and shit. It looks really cool. And all the artwork in this book is absolutely beautiful. It this won awards and stuff because it was, the best graphic novel of the year when it first came out. But there's 8 volumes already, and I've only read 1.5, and it is really good. Genuinely really good. But it's written by Marjorie Liu, but I don't know how to say her name, but she's a lawyer. She's a lawyer from New York who wrote best-selling author now too. But yeah, and you got Sana Takata, who did all the artwork. And the artwork is what you see on the cover right now. That's what the artwork on the interior looks like as well. It is all really beautiful artwork.
Adam Kimber says
highly recommended.
Adam Kimber says he's got Monstrous on digital right now.
Oh, nice. Brett Booth, OCG, and Apollo. Does he? I never pay attention to anyone on Twitter because they're horrible. What did Brett Booth do on Twitter? But yeah, Adam recommends the Garth Ennis run of Shadow Man from 97. All right, cool. I'll check that out, man. I'm not actually familiar with that. And Adam Kemba has Monstrous on digital. Yeah, definitely read it. Make sure you read it, man. It's good stuff. For real. Like, I actually really dig this. This is one of, because I don't really, I don't know, I don't really get into fantasy stuff too often. The things that I do I really like them, but more often than not, I just pass over any fantasy book. But this is, the artwork is what got my attention, but it's genuinely interesting as well. Like, it's all these witches, and they get their, as I said, they keep the monster people as slaves, right? And the monster people could be anything from like a cyclops, like a little kid with one eye, to like this chick who has a demon inside her and she has all these special powers and shit. It's like everything in between. There's some of them look hideous and some of them just look like people. Yeah, but the idea is that the humans have become like witches and stuff from eating the hearts of these monster people. So they take these monster people as slaves and they cut them up and they'll eat them. It's really dark, man. But it is such a good story. And like, I've only read 1.5 volumes, so there's like 8 volumes out already, but I've only read 1.5 volumes, and it is genuinely interesting. Like, I can't wait to see where it goes. It's really cool.
I'll have to check this out. Caroline said earlier she's going to go buy Monstrous.
Yeah, well, see, I recommended it to everybody already, like this week, because I've been reading it for about a week. So I've been recommending it to everybody. But yeah,
Great
I mean,
Sage
good on
said
you.
he's reading all the Calvin and Hobbes again.
Cool. CG promotes violence against women. I thought women were our equals. They can defend themselves, can't they? Wait, are you telling me that we're not in fact equal? That women can't defend themselves from men? Is that what I'm hearing, Jim? Because that's what it sounds like I'm hearing. That couldn't be, though, because I've been told since I was a child that women are just as strong and capable as men are. Interesting, isn't it?
Until they need the jar
Funny
of
how that
pickles
works.
opened.
Right. Yeah, they can open all the jars of pickles. But yeah, go check out Monstrous. Like, I'm in the middle of reading it now. I'm going to be binge reading every single volume until I get to the very end. So yeah, equal rights and equal left, says Oz Great Sage.
Well, Adam Kimber said to go check out a Garth Ennis book. What I have here is a Garth Ennis book. Not the same one that you suggested, though. We have The Boys.
The show is better than the book. It's so weird. It's like the backwards opposite to the regular rule, you know?
I really loved the book, though, because I read the book long before I read or watched the show.
Did you?
Yeah. I knew all about Butcher and I knew all about Hugh. And the book basically it follows Butcher and it follows Hugh and it follows their team. And what they do is they go fight other soup groups that are really just make fun of, but they end up killing them all, right? Like, they don't get to Homelander. Homelander is the one that they're really after. The Seven are the one that they're really after, but which is like takes place in the show. I mean, we've all seen the show. I'm pretty sure most people here have seen the show.
Yeah, I like the show. The show's really good. Well,
The
that's
show
what
is really
my
good.
main argument for the show is Homelander, because they made Homelander into an actual three-dimensional character who was unique and not just evil Superman.
Yeah, he is. In the book, he's just evil Superman. But that's what...
Yeah.
Garth Ennis has notoriously hated superhero characters, and he hates... And this was his, like, I want to kill them all. Yeah.
That's literally what The Boys was. It was his outlet and his way to say fuck superheroes, essentially.
And the book is just as degenerate as the show is. Like...
Oh, yeah. If not more so, honestly.
Oh, yeah. If not more so.
Yeah, there are moments in that book that are just, like, holy crap.
But they have stand-ins for every famous supergroup from Fantastic Four to XMen, and they go around and they kill them all.
Really?
Yeah. Adam Kimber said, I read Herogasm before I read The Boys.
I've never heard of Herogasm. I have no idea what it is. And yeah, the book is far more degenerate, Oz. Yeah, way more degenerate. Like, don't they catch them all? Don't they all catch them all having like a circle jerk at one point?
Herogasm is a story in The Boys. Like,
all
the superheroes gather for a big sex orgy like every year, and it's called Herogasm, and the boys infiltrate it, and like, spoilers, they massacre a whole bunch of people.
Jim says he's the only one here that doesn't watch TV or movies. I barely watch TV or movies. You know, there's like 3 things in the last 10 years that I've actually watched. Most things I just skip over because it all looks terrible. But I do still own a TV, so you may be the only one here that doesn't watch TV or movies. What do you do with your time? Do you just read? What do you do, Jim, if you're not watching TV and movies? Do you read a lot?
He sits around and circle jerks.
Oh my god.
That's what I mean. That's what I would do if I didn't have TV or movies.
Well, my last 2 are Batman books. Should I do them both at the same time?
I mean, no, do one at a time. Because I got 2 left. I got 2 left.
All right, yeah, cool. Yeah, work on YouTube. Yeah, that makes sense, Jim. That's basically my life too, man. Work on YouTube is 90% of my job, like my whole day. I mean, but yeah. First up,
I work while I YouTube.
This here, which I mean, you've probably heard of this one. A lot of people have heard of this one, but this is The Court of Owls. Yeah, it was written by Scott Snyder and drawn by Greg Capullo, who this actually got me kind of back into comics at a time when I was just falling out of it. I honestly, most things coming out were crap. I couldn't be bothered with any of it. And then they turn around and go, oh, the guy that drew Spawn is going to be drawing Batman. And I jumped into it. And The Court of Owls is honestly some of the coolest shit ever. They've never been able to replicate it though. Like ever since The Court of Owls first appeared in this series, every time they've brought him back in one of the other series, it's just hasn't worked, like it's not very good at all. And yeah, basically the Court of Owls are like a secret society, and they have these immortal like assassins that work for them called the Talons. Yeah, Osgreat said Talon is a cool villain. Talon is a damn cool villain, right? But yeah, and they Batman falls into their trap. And he has this thing like they have this whole secret place underground somewhere in Gotham, and it's got like a big maze in it. And there's photos from like 100 years ago where they had, because they've been doing it for so long, and it's such a good book. Yeah, definitely highly recommend Volume 1 of Batman New 52, which is The Court of Owls. You don't even need to read The Night of the Owls, which is Volume 2. Just read Volume 1, Court of the Owls, like The Court of Owls, because that you'll get the gist of it in that, and it is one of my favorite Batman books, and it is my favorite Scott Snyder thing. Scott Snyder being a pretty prominent writer for DC, and just comics in general.
Greg Capullo is like the call here, though.
Yeah, and honestly, I know like he did Batman for a long time right after this, and he even did some like some specials and some like Black Label stuff. But Court of Owls, when he first started, this is his best Batman stuff for sure, like by far. It's not even close. So yeah, go check out The Court of Owls if you haven't already.
Jim Cox says, I never watched Star Wars. Someone time him out while you're timing out shifting. All right. So, are we on to me here?
Yeah, on to you, man. I'll do my last one last as well.
I have
another very famous book from Crazy Mad.
Robert Kirkman and Tony Moore and Charlie Adlard. I fucking love this book. The show actually is the reason that I started reading this, but once I started reading it, like the show became second nature. Like this book is so much better than the show ever thought about being.
Oh yeah, it is. I've actually read most of The Walking Dead as well. I've got issue 150 or whatever it is. The issue where Glenn gets his head beaten in and it's like a big chrome cover. I've got that slabbed, like CGC slabbed on my wall right now. It's really good. And what Adam's saying here before I lose it, Claus, about Santa Claus, like a young Santa Claus. He's like a Viking. It's bloody awesome. I've actually read most of those. I haven't read all of them, but I've read 4 out of 5 of them. They are bloody good. So yeah, definitely check that stuff. I read that shit every Christmas. That's some good stuff, Adam. But yeah, go on about The Walking Dead, because The Walking Dead series was very different to The Walking Dead book. Like there was a lot of things that they moved around, and like characters show up later or earlier than they do in the books.
Oh, they combined so many characters, like Andrea, who was an annoying.
She sucks in the show.
She sucks in the show. In the book, she's a total badass, and they make her.
Yeah, in the book, she was really young too, wasn't she? She was like 17 or something in the book.
Yeah, and she's like super hot. And they like, if you've seen the show, in the Michonne, Carol, and Glenn's wife, the one that ends up taking over the town or whatnot, and she's getting a spinoff show, I think, with Negan, or has a spinoff show with Negan.
I don't know, man. I don't watch that show anymore at all. So
I don't watch any of them either. I haven't watched a single episode since Glenn got his head beaten in.
A lot of people dropped off of the show when that happened.
All 3 of those characters are basically like Andrea in the book. Like Michonne's still in the book, and the Daryl isn't even a character in the book at all.
Yeah, he was made up for the show.
I can't remember if it's Tyrese or Tyrone, but he's an awesome Tyrese. He's an awesome
and
character
Tyrone.
in the book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be both.
Yeah, wasn't it Tyrese didn't show up in the show until like way later, but he was in the book from nearly the very start, wasn't he?
Nearly the very start, yeah.
Yeah, I remember
he goes into the prison. He survived. Carol, who's in the show for like umpteen seasons now, dude, she dies before they even leave the prison, man.
Yeah, she dies like right after her bloody kid dies.
Yeah, and she dies like such a fucking bitch death, dude, like in the book.
Yeah, this is all true. Like the book is far superior to the TV show in every way.
I highly suggest reading The Walking Dead if you're into it. Like zombies.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah, which Kirkman, I love zombies.
Kirkman's
I love
really
horror
good.
stuff in general.
Yeah.
Kirkman is really good. He needs to do more stuff. Dude never has to work again a day in his life because of the Walking Dead TV show and everything. And apparently they're making a Walking Dead movie as well. But that's neither here nor there. Fact of the matter is he never has to work again for his for the rest of his life. But he should. He should write more stuff because he does some really good, believable characters and intense situations and stuff. Yeah, Invincible. Yeah, exactly. He does good stuff. He does really good stuff. I'm excited for Deadpool 3. Are you excited for Deadpool 3, Crazy Man?
I am totally excited for Deadpool 3. I'm ready for it.
Hell yeah. I am hyped. Deadpool is like one of my favorite Marvel movie characters, Like the books are hit or miss, but in the movies, Deadpool 1 and 2 are both great. And Deadpool 3 is like the only thing in the MCU that I'm even slightly excited about lately. So
that's the one. I hope it breaks $1 billion. I hope they
I don't think it will though.
I hope it does gangbusters, man.
I hope it does, but I don't think it will because the MCU has done such damage to the brand.
Oh, I know. But, I mean, the MCU could come back if it has W's, but I mean, Deadpool has
it would take a few.
Yeah.
It would take more than just one really good movie, Like it would take a few in a row for people to turn around and go, hey, Marvel's good again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Deadpool has to be a W. Blade has to be a W. Let's say
Thunderbolts should probably be cancelled. Young Avengers should probably be cancelled. Madam Web is a Sony movie, but it's definitely going to bomb. Did you see that? It's got like 15% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is garbage.
But it is a Sony movie, but in most of the Sony
it is a Sony movie though. Some normies might think it's an MCU movie though because it is Marvel,
Even the Venom movies on Sony weren't very good, dude. Neither one.
I like them. I like them. I'm not saying they're great, but I enjoy them.
I'd say they're below average, but they're not the worst things ever. They're watchable.
Yeah, Madam Web will bomb hard, exactly.
Because who cares? Who cares about Madam Web?
I like Madam Web in when they do the Spider-Verse crossovers and stuff, but not once in my entire life have I thought, wow, I would love to see a Madam Web movie. That's just not a thing. And then this character that they're giving us in Madam Web isn't the character that I'm talking about either.
Yeah, Oscar Sage's got it. Venom movies are below par. They are.
No, they're all right. Why you got to hate for?
I don't hate. It's just the truth of the matter.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was really good. The guy who played the villain in that was fantastic. He was such an evil piece of shit that you love to hate him, honestly. He was great.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 3
is the only real MCU movie I'm hyped about.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is the only Marvel movie after Endgame that was worth anything.
What about Spider-Man No Way Home with all the Spider-Man in it?
Well, first of all, that's a Sony movie.
Yeah, but it was good stuff.
It's okay. I mean, it had definite problems in it, but there were member berries, dude. That's what it was.
You see, Young Avengers, what Shifty says here, it's too bad Yelena isn't in Young Avengers. They honestly should scrap the Young Avengers, right? Because nobody cares about the Young Avengers, and do a Strange Academy. If they're so dead set on getting the young kids into this movie thing, right? Like with a bunch of characters that are younger, they should do Strange Academy. Has anybody read Strange Academy? Honorable mention to Strange Academy Volume 1. It is a damn good show.
Hey,
book.
Skip.
I mean, but, like it's good stuff. Ugh, Skip. Hello, friends and Dean. Fuck you, Skip. And yeah, Shifty says Spider-Man was MCU, which it was. Yeah, it was, but it was produced by Sony. Like they had to split the money with Sony and everything because of that. But yeah. Last but not least on my list, you've still got one left too, right?
Yep.
Last but definitely not least on my list is the second Batman book. I was going to feature them both together because they're both Batman. Yeah, but this is actually the only time in recent history that Harley Quinn hasn't been an insufferable cunt. This is Batman Joker Deadly Duo, written by Mark Silvestri and drawn by Mark Silvestri, and it is an absolute masterpiece. This is at a time when I thought that Marvel and DC were just completely dead. They had nothing left in the tank. This has been in, 10 years or something in development. Like this was announced a long time ago, yeah, and it took Mark Silvestri a long time to get it done, but it was worth the wait. It is absolutely awesome. And as the title leads you to believe, it has Batman and the Joker teaming up for, a weird read. Like, it's part of the story. But the idea is there's this new monstrous villain in town, and there's all these like weird like vampire creatures that look like the Joker. And whoever's in charge of them has kidnapped Harley Quinn and, is kidnapping other characters throughout the story. And, you'd find out why. That's the mystery. I'm not going to spoil that bit. But yeah, Batman Joker Deadly Duo. Highly recommend it. And the entire book is full of fantastic artwork. Like it's Mark Silvestri's best work, honestly. Comparable only to All New X-Men. Remember when he did All New X-Men back in the day? That was good shit too.
Dude,
but Mark Silvestri on Batman Joker. Best stuff.
Silvestri's Wolverine is my favorite Wolverine.
Same. It's my favorite Wolverine too, man. It's some good stuff. The way he draws Sentinels as well is just sick.
Silvestri is my top artist ever.
Really?
Like I know, yeah. I love Silvestri, dude. Everything he touches is gold.
Him. He's definitely in my top 5, but my top is probably Rocafort. Everybody knows I love Rocafort. It took everything I had not to just recommend 10 Rocafort books tonight, honestly. I tried to avoid that, for real. But yeah, Silvestri is ridiculously skilled. Yeah, and the man's still got it, even in his old age now. He's like 55, 60 or something, and he's still pumping out some of the best shit ever. And this book here, if you haven't read it, just because, a lot of people are turned off of Marvel and DC and stuff these days, right? So if you're not, even if you're not reading Marvel and DC, this is in its own continuity. It has nothing, you don't need to read anything else to understand what's going on. And it is one of the best Batman books I've ever read. Definitely give it a go.
What's this? They just team up because of a bad guy.
Yeah. Some bad guy has kidnapped Harley Quinn. Like at the very start of the book, Harley Quinn is already kidnapped. And all of these vampire monsters that are coming around and apparently doing all this murdering and kidnapping, they look like the Joker. So Batman, naturally goes after the Joker, and then they have to team up to find Harley Quinn. And find out what's really going on and find out why the monsters look like Joker.
Osgreat Sage is saying Frazetta, fuck the world.
Frazetta is amazing. Yeah. It took like 8 years to create. Yeah, exactly. Like this was announced a long time ago, and it got to the point where people thought it wasn't even going to happen anymore, and then it just did. Like they just released it all. They're like, "Here you go, guys," and it is really good. I'm actually hoping that they come out with an unwrapped, like a black and white version, so that I can just have a look at some of Silvestri's line work in it. But they haven't yet. They will. But you definitely should check this one out. It is one of the best Batman stories ever written. I don't care what anyone says. It is awesome. And yeah, that's all of mine. Those are all of my recommendations. Out of all of them, I would definitely say go check out Monstrous and go check out Deadly Duo and go check out Old Man Logan as well. Out of my whole list, if you're going to check out any of and Godfall. Those ones are like, you cannot miss those ones. If you haven't read those ones, definitely check them out. Skip. But that version is not the entire story, and it's only in French. I've checked. I've done that, Skip. I was there the day that Shelby did that, Skip. I want it in English. And there's issue 1 and 2 in a double pack that is all black and white, but doesn't actually have the writing, none of the story in it. Like, it's just the images. I want the unwrapped version, or the, how they have like Batman Noir and it's all like the inked version. I don't care if it's just the pencils or just the inks, but I want the story in black and white, and that's not available at all.
Oh, thanks, Jim. Jim says I'm the winner today. I agree.
No, he's saying for the win, the last one. Like, what's the last one, mate?
There's
no winners here. This isn't a competition, and Crazy Mad lost because he couldn't even follow the rules.
You didn't follow the rules either. You had super famous books too.
Like what? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, Deadly Duo, super famous.
Come on, Mr. Book. Death of Superman, Mr. Chris Claremont, Jim Lee's X-Men. Come on, go. What's your last one?
All right. So this book is by one of my favorite writer and also one of my favorite artists. And I'd like to say it's highly inspired by yours truly.
It's not hate, Skip. I can't understand it. Like,
we have the Embrace.
Hey, that's my first book ever. What the fuck? That is a good book.
It is a good book.
I appreciate that. Tell us about it. Tell us about how awesome it is.
Well, there's a character in it and a ghost suit and some other stuff.
Dude with a ghost suit and some other stuff. I mean, that is the gist of it, yeah.
No, it's a really touching story about a father who loses his son and can't deal with it.
That's literally, suck up, Crazy, says Oz.
Yeah, I'm reading it.
I appreciate that, man. Like, I didn't do that just because, like, I wasn't even expecting my book to be on a top list, Like, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Because that's my first ever book.
I really do love the story to this book, and, like, the artist, it's okay.
I'm way better now than I was back then, man. It's crazy. I don't even like looking at it. I want to redraw it, I swear.
I know you do. But the story is a father who loses his son, and he gets a second chance. And it's inspired by an actual true event that actually happened.
It was. Odin's gone into that a few times.
Yeah, I'm sure Dean can tell you more about the story than I can. And
I can tell you absolutely everything about the story.
The book 2 is coming soon. I'm seeing artwork for it, and it looks fucking fantastic.
Appreciate that, man. And book 2 is coming very soon. Like, that'll be the next big thing that I do is book 2, because I'm working on it now, and we're Odin promised someone, I can't remember if it was SPQR or something, but he promised people a 6-page preview, and you guys will be getting that soon. So, like, I've already done that now. I've done that many pages.
You know what I'm looking forward to the most for the second book is the supplemental. The supplemental.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm really proud of that. I got that written by Kemosabe. It's going to be good shit.
Yeah, it's drawn by Kari Saviejo.
Yeah, Kari Saviejo. She's a legend, she is. She does really good stuff.
Collared by Dean. Dude, it is so sick. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, because, like, we wanted to do, I remember everyone saying that it didn't want, what's it called? Multiverse stuff. They didn't like multiverse stuff. And I was like, well, what do you guys think of a timeline? Because Clarence and David weren't the first Embrace ever,
Yeah.
So, I really lent into the horror side of the idea of there being a ghost and everything, and we made a bit more of a scarier character than what Clarence and David are. Because Clarence and David are only a superhero because David liked comic books as well.
Yeah, he was at the very beginning of the first Embrace. He's reading our
knockoff Spider-Man.
Arachnatine. I couldn't think of it.
Arachnatine. And Kemosabe will come back. I spoke to him in messages just like last week. He is coming back eventually. I should have sent him the link tonight. I forgot to send him the link tonight, but I usually send him the link anyway. He will be back soon, Oz, I promise you. We will see Kemosabe again.
Skip Edwards, like Eddie Brock in Venom, kills a kid, then gets a kid.
Yeah, that's the one. That's exactly how it works. It's just like Venom's. But yeah, hopefully we showed you some stuff tonight that you guys hadn't heard of. You know, you've probably heard of everything Crazy Mad mentioned except for his first one. But hopefully we gave you some, some new things to read, because I'm constantly looking through, like I go through like all kinds of websites and stuff, and like, trying to find comic books that I've never heard of or that I've never read. And it's a slog. So hopefully you guys have been, shown at least one out of the 2 lists we gave you of something that looks interesting to you guys. And I highly recommend everything on my list. I don't know about Crazy Mad's list. Yeah. Roger's never coming back, Skip. Can never find him. He hates like CG and everything. Well, not CG, but you know what I mean? Like he hates everything that happened to him and like everything he went through. He really doesn't like a lot of the big guys. Roger's never coming back. I might be able to get him for like a special one day. Like I'll get Roger on and he'll come back for a one-time thing. But Roger's never coming back, man. It breaks my heart, Skip. Honestly.
Yeah, we here all miss Roger.
I miss Roger so much. You have no idea. Roger was my boy, man. I miss him so much.
CG World Order.
He shows up in the chat sometimes, though. There's been a couple of streams where all of a sudden Roger's there. He's just like, hey, guys. It's like, yeah. But he's a good dude. He's around, I'm sure. Yeah. Kemosabe is busy fighting chlamydia he got from an unnamed source. Yes, yeah. Let's just go with that. That's canon now. But yeah, that's basically it for the...
Kemosabe is busy writing hate comments on all Dean's videos.
No, I got like no hate comments on my newest video. Go check that out, man. We finally found my people.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, it's
thank you to all of my new subscribers too. If any of you guys see this replay, thank you. I appreciate you all joining us. We're like 52 or 51. I don't know. I think it's 51 away from 1,000. We're nearly there.
Hey,
g'day, Bristolian Dave. We're just ending, man. You missed the whole stream. Go back and check out some comic books we actually like. Because all I do is shit on comic books lately. I don't want to be negative, but they don't give me a lot to be positive about. So, yeah, chlamydia is the new supervillain in Chemo's Embrace spin-off. No, there's actually there's multiple villains in that spin-off. Yeah, one of them is like a big, like one of them is a like a Japanese monster. There's some Japanese monster that we based it off of. I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically a witch sort of thing. One of them is a big muscly dude with like a big cross scarred into his chest, and he's got a massive sword and stuff. And then there's like these businessmen that are like, the Bob Boss crime lord type guys. Like there's a few villains in that book. For a short story, it's packed full of action. So yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I appreciate this positive stream. Well, I appreciate you, Dave. Thanks for that, mate.
Yeah, Dave, thanks.
Yeah. But yeah, like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow. I'll be releasing a brand new video tomorrow or the next day. I'm not actually sure. Like whenever I finish editing it, like because I've got my day job and everything, it's just I do a bit of editing, then go back to my day job, and then the next day I'll do the same thing. So like whenever this video is finished, there is more videos coming and stuff like that. And yeah, oh hey Corey, you just missed it. We were recommending comic books that we actually like. It was a good stream. It was super positive. So go back and watch the replay. But yeah, we're ending it now. So like and subscribe and all that stuff if you haven't already. Help me get to 1,000 because I am so close. And when I get to 1,000, we'll do streams and everything. We'll do I'll make memberships with little thumbnails of Kemosabe's head for members. I don't know, like what else we'll do. But yeah, we'll get it all sorted.
Go watch all Dean's videos on repeat so we can hit 4,000.
Yeah, we got to get those watch hours up. I'm close to that too. Like it's all going to be closing around the end of March, I think, if my math is correct. Around the end of March, we'll be fully monetized and everything. So do that stuff.
If Corey would show up at the beginning of streams instead of the end, you're still the best part, though, Corey.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Corey. Crazy.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, I'll give you a crazy mad thumbnail. Don't worry about it. We'll do that. We'll do all of that shit.
I don't
Whatever
want
you
you to
guys
give
want,
me a
I'll
crazy
make
bad
it. That's not a
thumbnail.
problem at all. We'll get little what should be honestly, what should be the emojis on comics, mate? Like we'll do my head, we'll do Kemosabe, we'll do a bow. What else should we do? There's a lot of things we could do on here. We'll do a bunch. We'll figure it all out when we get there, yeah?
Yeah.
Skip Edwards likes Clayton.
Corey's the best Barton. Hands down.
Corey and Clayton should fight to the death.
Corey would win.
Then
just
we'll
overpower.
Then we'll know who the best Barton is once and for all. That'll be the best Barton, whoever wins. No, they're both about the same size. I met them in person.
Well, in my head, Clayton's just a little guy.
No, Clayton's super lanky. Like he's basically Slender Man. Some babe emojis. Yeah, we'll get you some nice titties, Corey. Don't worry about it. We'll get some babe emojis in there too. Emus. Yeah, that's good. Emus would be good.
Yeah, that'd
be
great.
The third Barton is the best. Yeah, the mythical third Barton that we've all seen like one time. There is a third Barton, you know. That's not a lot.
I thought there was like 5 of them.
I don't know how many more there are, but there is a third one. At the very least.
I know there's at least 4 Bartons. I thought
Corey wouldn't want to fight me. You could criticize shitty scripts. I will do that again. We've got a pile of scripts. I don't know why we never did that again. We do have a bunch of scripts that we can do. Like there's a bunch of them. Some of them are actually good too. Like you can tell when a writer likes his job and when he's having fun, opposed to when the writer is just garbage like that one time we did. That was I can do that again. No worries. I can definitely do that again. We've got plenty of those.
I agree, Skip. Corey is the Pepsi of Bartons because Pepsi.
Corey is the Pepsi of the Bartons.
Pepsi is the best.
4. There's 4 of them. Corey is the third. There you go. Third time lucky, right? Yeah, there you go. But yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. I'm going to end it here. I don't have a closing song or anything like that. But yeah, go check out our recommendations. If any of them looked good to you, highly recommend all of them. We'll get you a Tugrat emoji. I'm not doing a Pikachu emoji, but I'll do a Tugrat one just because it was hilarious. So yeah. See you guys. Appreciate you joining us. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bow. Bye.